The Duke and the Earl.
One, 2, 3. Wake up, Grandpa!
Oh, you, it's you impertinent scallywags.
You didn't forget, did you?
I never forget anything. What exactly am I not forgetting again?
You're coming to work with us at the Blue Mountain Quarry today.
Alright. I'm coming. Go on ahead. Good morning, Your Grace. I miss the good old days where I could go to the quarry for peace and quiet.
What do you think, Grandpa?
It's loud.
You always have something to be grumpy about, don't you, Grandpa?
And you don't, Sir Handel?
Sir Handel, Peter Sam. Oh, I see you've brought Duke.
Time I showed you young'uns how to really run a quarry.
I'm older than you. Duke worked at the quarry all morning.
Look sharp, Crane.
Oh, hello, Duke.
Sleeping on the job? That would never suit his grace.
Whenever Duke saw something he didn't like, which was frequently, he would say the same thing.
That would never suit his grace. That would never suit his grace.
Look out! Oh, sorry, Duke. I didn't hear you coming.
Respect your elders, young'un. Zooming round the quarry like that would never suit his grace.
Duke, I'm sorry about nearly hitting you today.
Oh, it's all right, youngster. Just don't do it again.
Just, one question, Duke.
What?
Who's His Grace?
Ah, His Grace. His Grace is the Duke of Sodor. I'm named after him. He came to my naming ceremony and he's gone now.
Duke, I'm so sorry,
Come on, Grandpa. It's time to go home.
All right. I'm coming, you impudent scallywag.
The next day, Luke had to take a train of stone to Ulfstead Castle. He was still thinking about Duke and wanted to do something to make him feel better.
Bonjour, Luke.
Hi, Millie.
You're here early, little fella. The Earl hasn't even come to give us the day's briefing. Everything all right, Luke?
It's about Duke. When I asked him about His Grace last night, he became all distant and sad.
Good morning, engines.
Good morning, sir.
Right, we have a lot of tours to do today, everyone. Oh dear, too many tours, I think.
What do you mean, sir?
I need to look at the schedule again. I'm overbooked, everyone, again. Oh dear. Come back in about half an hour when I've sorted this out.
Excuse me, sir.
Oh, hello, Luke. I see you've brought the stone. You seem down. What's wrong?
Have you ever met an engine named Duke, sir?
He works on your railway, yes?
Yes, sir. He constantly talks about his grace, sir. But when I asked him about it last night, he became all sad.
Oh, Duke's grace was my father, the Duke of Sodor. He passed away during the war, so I guess I'm Duke's grace.
You're Duke's grace? But that means if he came here, maybe he wouldn't be upset anymore.
And if Duke's here, maybe I could cover the tours I've overscheduled. You are a very clever little engine, Luke. I'll call the fin controller right away.
When Duke heard he was going to work for his grace at Ulfstead Castle, he was overjoyed.
Haven't seen his grace in years. It'll be just like old times when he used to visit me on the mid-Sodor.
Grandpuff, it isn't the same.
Shush, Peter, Sam. Let him have his happiness for a bit.
Better than seeing him in a bad mood all the time anyway.
Duke rolled up towards the castle, excited to see his grace.
I can't believe it. I have to thank Luke for this. It is such an honor to know you want to see me, your girl, Robert. Robert? But what happened to his grace?
Oh, you've just found him.
Yes, it's good to see you, your grace.
Welcome to Ulfstead Castle, Duke. Right. You'll start tours now, if you don't mind. Just a quick one around the estate to help you learn the route.
Yes, your grace.
Wait, Duke, stop! Must have got him blown out of the office by the wind. Sorry, Duke. I have a bit of a habit of keeping the window open.
It's not the same, it's not the same.
Duke found his first tour pleasant. The estate was quiet, and his passengers, for the most part, didn't complain. However, he was still upset about the Earl.
His grace wouldn't leave papers out on the line. It's not the same, it's not the same.
Oh dear. He's not very happy, is he?
And then the sled broke away with Sir Topham on it. There was a bit of a chase afterwards with Thomas, but it was all great fun.
What on earth is he doing?
The Earl's a bit eccentric.
Not refined in the slightest. An Earl should be dignified. An example, not some clown for everyone to laugh at.
Sure, he's not traditional, but that's part of what makes him unique.
He's nothing like his father.
Is there something wrong with that?
Oh.
That evening, after an ordinary day of tours, the Earl gathered his engines at the sheds.
Sir, since it's Wednesday, who is going to be pulling the photography tour tonight?
Photography tour?
Once a week, the Earl's friends come over at night to take pictures of the estate. It's great fun.
I'd prefer my sleep, thank you.
Duke, I was wondering if you would like to pull the train this evening. A bit of a welcome of sorts.
No thank you, your grace. I'd rather sleep.
I don't know, Duke. Pulling those photography trains is quite an honour.
I'd certainly want to take it if I was offered.
All right, I'll do it.
Marvellous! Come to the platform as soon as you're ready.
Act your age, you impertinent scallywags.
Duke backed onto an open coach in the platform and noticed the Earl talking enthusiastically to his friends.
This is Duke, everyone. He's been working here at the castle on tours, and I thought he would like a special train to make you feel welcome.
It's always a pleasure, Your Grace.
Duke was expecting a quiet run. However, when they reached the more woodland part of the estate...
Duke, stop!
Is something wrong?
Shh! Back up a bit, Duke. I need to get off that deer. I haven't gotten one yet.
No, that's too far. It's way out of frame now.
Duke was stuck moving back and forth to get pictures in the right place for the next 3 hours. By the time he returned to the shed, he was both exhausted and furious.
Unbelievable! Peasants were not that picky back in my day.
The moon was high in the sky, and it didn't take long for him to fall asleep, still rather upset. However, that didn't mean he didn't dream of memories past on the Mid-Sodor Railway. Number 2, or Smudger as the workmen called him for his rough riding, was a crass engine who worked with Duke on the Mid-Sodor Railway. He was constantly going wrong and coming off the rails. Whenever Duke would try to warn him, he would say,
"Listen, Dookie, who worries about a few spills?"
We do here.
One day, the manager told Smudger to take a passenger train.
"But I hate passengers! They always complain the way I do my job!"
Really useful engines don't argue, number 2.
Aye, quit your belly aching, I'm going.
As Smudger rolled along the line, he bumped the coaches hard. The passengers were very shaken.
Oh dear, such a rough engine.
We don't want to ride with him anymore.
That was so then.
At the next station, Smudger was taken off the train and rolled onto a siding.
You wanna get rid of passengers? Gotta give them a rough ride, Dookie.
Well, old friend, you've given me an idea.
Duke was preparing to take the first train of the day when he heard a whistle.
Welcome, Duke and Duchess.
Thank you for being so welcoming. We are looking forward to our private tour around the estate.
Private tour?
For some reason, they want to have the little coffee pot tour them around the estate. Don't see why they would want to when they have the fastest engine in the world at their disposal.
Excuse me, Your Grace.
Yes, Duke?
If it isn't too much trouble, could I take the Duke and Duchess on their tour?
Certainly, Duke. If you don't mind, of course.
Not in the slightest, Sir Robert. Come on, dear.
Show them a smooth ride, Duke.
Don't worry. I will.
Oh, show off.
Duke jerked about throughout the whole ride. He bumped the coach every chance he got and gave the Duke and Duchess of Boxford a very uncomfortable ride.
Courtesy of His Grace.
My goodness, are you all right?
That engine gave us a very rough ride. There's something wrong with him. He needs maintenance done immediately.
What?
Duke, please go to the shed. We need to have a talk.
Yes, Your Grace.
Duke stayed in the shed all day. He was furious about his plan not working, but he didn't have much time to think about it.
Your Grace?
Duke, I can tell that you were expecting my father when you came up here. Not me, but...
I was expecting his Grace, not a buffoon.
I'm sorry, Duke, but there's very little I could do to change that.
It's clear you haven't matured from when you were a young boy.
I have been living my life as a perfectly functional member of society. While you were trapped in a shed for 20 years, don't talk to me about not being mature.
And whose fault is that? You never came to rescue me.
I didn't even know you existed until you were found.
No excuse. Your father came to visit me once a month back in the days on the Sodor, and not once did he mention me to you. You probably just didn't listen.
I was a boy. I don't remember much of then.
That explains a whole lot.
You've been living in the past.
At least I can think of the past. You're constantly focusing on some future harebrained waste of your father's money. An estate like dinosaurs. You are a stain on your father's legacy. He's probably rolling in his grave.
And how would you know what my father thought? Because you probably would know better than me.
Your Grace, I'm so...
My father died when I was 7, Duke. Do you have any idea what that's like? Growing up without a father figure?
No, but I'm sure Falcon and Stuart do. Like you said, locked in a shed for 20 years.
I'm losing memories of him every day. I've missed him since I was a boy, and seeing you was a reminder of him. I still miss him, Duke. I still miss him.
I miss him too. You know, Robert, whenever your father would visit me on the Sodor after you were born, you'd always talk to everyone about some silly thing you did, like spit out your baby food or saying your first word.
He loved you, Robert. I'm sure he'd be proud of what you've done with his estate. Even I have to admit it is quite impressive. You've grown into a remarkable man. Even if you are nothing like your father, please forgive an old engine for not seeing that.
Thank you, Duke.
I've been perfectly awful, Your Grace. I need to make it up to you.
Duke, you don't have to.
No, Your Grace. I insist. It's my duty as your engine.
Thank you, Duke. That's very kind.
Although a little nap first would be nice.
Go ahead, Duke. I'll schedule a tour for you in a few hours.
A few days later, Sir Handel, Peter, Sam and Luke all raced up to the castle to see Duke.
One, 2, 3.
Wake up, Grandpa!
You two never fail to get me with that one, do you?
How are you, Grandpa?
I admit that it took me some time to adjust, but once I got used to it, I've come to love it.
We're glad you're happy, Grandpa.
Luke, it was very kind of you to send me here.
Thank you, Duke.
I've got to give a tour now, and I expect you three have work to do as well. Now be off with you, you impertinent scallywags.
All clear, Duke.
And here we have the castle grounds, kept up by our groundskeeper in tip-top shape. Of course, the design of the foliage was made by Sir Robert himself, who happens to be on this train. Say hello to him, everyone.
And then oh, hello.
That may not have suited his grace, but it suits mine just fine. Ha 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 ha.